And in this lesson we'll be covering variables. Variables enable you a way to make your packages dynamic. This means that you could have, at runtime, a different configuration each time you run your package. Variables come in two different flavors. You have system variables, which are already predefined by SSIS, and you also have user-defined variables, which are variables that you create yourself. Essentially, variables are placeholders for data or values that you'll enter in at a future date or a future time, or you might even have your package enter a value into the variable by itself. Variables also have specific data types that you have to assign to them, and surprisingly enough, they are different from the regular SSIS data types that you have. You have some additional ones like the object data type. The object data type is a reference for a structure, so you could actually store an entire table inside a variable, or something else, some kind of other object, a database object like that. Now I have this list here, this table of all the different variable data types, but this is also in the book that you can take a look at. In this lesson we're going to create a package that has a flat file export of employees, and this flat file export is going to be based specifically on the organization that we specify in a variable. So this package is going to be adjustable at runtime. We can switch which organization we want to give an export of the employees, and let's go ahead and get right to it. So let's create a new package in our Solution Explorer, and we'll call this Lesson28. Go ahead and rename it. And yes, you do want to rename the package object as well. Click yes. Okay, and our first step would probably be, let's go ahead and discover where we would find the variables. So we have our package open here. If you don't already have the variables tab opened or available on your left here, to open it or to have the variables property window available, simply right click in the control flow and you'll see variables, and that'll open up your your variables window here. You can also make it auto hide, so you can go back and forth while you're developing your package. So our first step is going to be to create a variable called org level. Org level is going to stand for organization level. So to create a new variable, you just click the Add Variable button in the top left, and then give it a name. We were going to call this one org level. And you'll see we also have a scope. This scope is where this variable is available in the package. Right now it's scoped at the package level, scoped at Lesson28, which is our package name, so it can be used anywhere within our package. We also have the data type set to int32, which is correct. We'll leave that because the organization level we're going to have is going to be an integer. But if you needed to change the data type, you simply drop down and select the data type that you need. The value in this case is going to be the number 2, and you'll see why later. The organization level that we're going to bring back is going to be have the number 2 associated with it. And that's it. That's our first variable we created. We also did a very quick one in the row count lesson. If you've already done that, we did a quick one in that lesson. But now we're going to get to using it a little bit more and making your packages a little bit more dynamic with variables. So the next step is going to be to bring over a data flow task from your toolbox. Drag over a data flow task, and we're going to name it DFT for data flow task employee export. Alright, so you go ahead and switch over to the data flow tab, or the data flow task, and we need to go ahead and create a new connection manager as well, a new LODB connection manager. So right click in the bottom portion and connection managers and create a new LODB connection. And we're going to make this connection to the AdventureWorks 2008 database, so we already have that set. Just click OK, and then rename to just AdventureWorks. Okay, so the next step is going to be to bring over an OLEDB source. So So find that from your toolbox and drag that over. Once you have that over, go ahead and double click in the editor. And we're going to use a little dynamic SQL here with our source. We're going to use a SQL command instead of a table. And this text I'm about to copy and paste is in your book, but you'll see we have a question mark. We have a regular old select statement. Everything above the where clause is typical what you would see in a select statement, and then in our where clause we say where organization level equals question mark. That question mark is a parameter, so it's just like you would have in a stored procedure, but you would have the variable that, or the parameter you're defining normally in a stored procedure. With SSIS, to represent a parameter, you put a question mark, and then you go into your parameters tab here, or your parameters button. So the parameters is, this is correct, parameter 0, and then we're going to change this to the variable that we just created called org level. So it's probably all the way at the bottom. Oh, no, it's not. It's going to have users next to it. There it is, user org level. User is, of course, because it's a user-defined variable. The system variable will say system in front of it first. You'll notice also that you can create your a variable right here. So if you wanted to start off creating a variable here, you could do it this way. And it's very similar to how we did it in the variables window. But we're going to stick with the org level, and then go ahead and click OK. And we'll check out our columns just to make sure we have the columns we want, and we do. We're bringing back the employee's ID and what organization level, all the good stuff. So we don't have their name, but that's okay. This national ID number is going to be associated with them. Alright, so go ahead and click OK. Our next step is going to be to bring over a flat file destination. So go ahead and do that from your toolbox. Bring over a flat file destination. And go ahead and connect the two. We need a flat file connection manager to send our destination to. So again, you could either right click and create it here, but let's go ahead and do it in the destination itself this time. So we're going to do new connection manager, and it's going to be a delimited file. So say OK to that, and we're going to name, once this pops up, we're going to name this organization level for the connection manager. And then we'll call the file that also, without a space this time. Organization level. I actually already have the file in here. That's okay. If you don't have it, just type it in. Type the file organization level name here, and hit open. And then the column names are in the first row. So check that. If you want to check out the columns, this is because I've already previously loaded this table. So you might not have this preview data here, but that's okay, because we're just creating the file now. Make sure you do have this checked, the overwrite data in file, which especially for me, because I already had the file created, I want to overwrite whatever data I already have in there. So I'm going to leave that checked. And then you'll also see that our mappings is not correct. It's just because we've just connected it, so we need to make sure that our mappings is going to be good. It looks like they are. Okay, so go ahead and click OK. And we're ready to execute. So go ahead and right click on your package name in the Solution Explorer and say execute package. And it should show from yellow to green. And it'll load our package with 27 rows. Now you'll see that what we did, just to review, in our source, we use this where clause with the parameter of org level, organization level equals question mark. We're getting that value from our organization level, which is a variable. So if we stop this, we can look at our variables again. A variable that we assign the value of 2, and then we send it off to the flat file. So let's take a look at our flat file. C, projects, SSIS personal trainer, organization level. make this a little wider. There you go. So it brought back just the employees that have the organization level of 2. Alright. So let's go ahead and review what we learned in this lesson by checking out the last slide. So what did we learn in this lesson? We learned that using variables makes our packages dynamic, and the variables come in 2 different flavors. You have the system variables, which are already predefined by SSIS, and those come in as things like the package name and the system time and things like that, which can be useful in certain cases. You also have the user-defined variables, which are variables that you create. So in the package that we did, we had 1 user-defined variable, which was the org level. Also, what's great about variables is that it allows for the package to reconfigure itself at runtime. So we could, outside of this package, change what org level we did to get a different kind of flat file sent to us. And like I said, these are essentially placeholders, because if you think about it, it just held the place for that value until the package called it in that source.